Hello children, welcome to biology class. Hope you are all doing well. Now we reached in the second unit of biology, that is genetics and evolution. This is a very important unit and it carries 18 marks and it consists of 3 chapters. First 2 chapters is related with genetics and the third chapter is related with evolution. So we are going to start with the first chapter, that is principle of inheritance and variation. Dear children, have you ever wondered why dogs give birth to puppies? And when you take a plant, mango seed produces only mango plant? Why you look like your parents? Okay, so these are some questions, and sometimes you can see some of the character which you have is different from that of your parents, or it is different from that of your siblings. So that is known as the variation. So why this happens? These are all the questions which we are going to deal under a branch of biology that is known as genetics. So what is genetics? Genetics, it is the study of inheritance and variation. It is the study of inheritance and variation. So what is inheritance? Inheritance, that is transfer of character, from parents to progeny is called inheritance. Okay, that means characters are transferred from parents to the progeny. So we have seen that some of the character your parents you are having that is similar to that of your parents. Now what is variation? Variation is the degree, it is the degree by which progeny differ from parents. Okay, it is the degree by which progeny differ from parents. Okay, so you can see certain variation in you. So that is, the variation is the degree by which a progeny differ from that their parents. Let us first see genetics. The term genetics was first coined by William Bateson in the year 1905. He is the person who coined the term genetics. Now, before William Bateson, there was a scientist whose name is Gregor Johann Mendel. That is Gregor Johann Mendel. He proposed principle of inheritance. So as he proposed the principle of inheritance, he is known as the father of genetics. He is known as the father of genetics. He born on 1822 and died on 1884. Okay, that is, William Bateson coined the term genetics in 1905. Before that, Gregor Johann Mendel worked on pea plant So what is pea? Garden pea, that is the matter. Okay. He worked on pea plant and proposed the principle of inheritance. So the scientific name of pea plant is Pisum sativum. He worked on this pea plant for 7 years, that is from 1856 to 1863. For 7 years he worked under pea plant. Okay. Now, he is not a biologist. He is a mathematician. It is for the first time statistical analysis and mathematical logics are used in solving the problems of biology. Okay. Now, he took more samples. He studied more samples. He took more seeds for collecting the data. So his data is having more credibility. Okay. Now, why he took pea plant for his experiment? So let us see why he took pea plant. That is reason for taking pea plant. Reason for taking pea plant. That is Pisum sativum. The first reason is that pea plant is having 7 contrasting traits. It is having 7 contrasting traits or characters. It is having 7 contrasting traits or characters. What do you mean by contrasting? That is just opposite character. Now we can see in the screen the 7 characters. That is, first is seed shape. What is the shape of the seed? It is round and wrinkled. Second is seed color, yellow and green. Third is pod shape, inflated and constricted. Fourth is pod color, that is green and yellow. Flower color, purple and white. Flower position, you see the position of the flower. One is axial and other is terminal. Size of the plant, one is tall and other is dwarf. You can see it is both the character is given at the top and their contrasting characters or traits are given at the bottom. So these are the 7 contrasting characters found in pea plant. That is why Mendel selected pea plant for his experiment. Second reason, it is a self-pollinating plant. It is a self-pollinating plant and cross pollination can be done artificially. So what is this? It is a self-pollinating plant. What do you mean by self-pollinating? That is transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma of the same plant. So same plant means same flower. Same flower means that is the flower is having both stamen and pistil. Okay, that type of plant can undergo self-pollination. The flower is having both stamen and pistil. That is why it is undergoing self-pollination. So pea plant is a self-pollinating flower. Okay, so these flowers can be cross-pollinated. What do you mean by cross-pollination? That is transfer of pollen grain from anther to the stigma of different plant. So the flowers are present in different plant that can be cross-pollinated by a process of artificial hybridization. Okay, how this artificial hybridization is done? You see here, in artificial hybridization, we are taking two different contrasting characters. This artificial hybridization. So what you have seen in pea plant is having both pistil and stamen. Suppose it is the pistil, it is the stigma, and here you can see the stamens. Okay, these are the stamens, pistil, and this is stamen. Suppose we are taking this plant as tall plant. The character of the height is, we have taken the character height, and the contrasting character is tall. This is having stamens and pistil. Now for artificial hybridization, the first step in artificial hybridization is emasculation. Emasculation. So what is emasculation? That is removal of anther. Removal of anther. So what is done during emasculation? This anthers or the stamens are removed. So the stamens are removed. Why it is removed? In order to prevent self-pollination. In order to prevent self-pollination, emasculation is done. The next step is bagging. So what is bagging? It is covered by, the pistils are covered by a butter paper. Why bagging is done? In order to prevent contamination of the stigma with undesirable pollen grains. Okay? And then third step is dusting. Dusting. So what is dusting? Suppose if we wanted to cross this tall pea plant with a dwarf variety, it is also having pistil, okay, and again it is having stamens, okay, this is pistil and this is stamen. So if we wanted to cross it with this tall variety, this bag is removed and the anther is taken from the dwarf plant, is dusted over. Anther is having pollen grain and it is dusted over the stigma of this tall plant. So this is the pollen grain of dwarf variety. Dwarf variety is dusted over here. So cross pollination is completed. Okay, this is how artificial hybridization is done. What are the steps of artificial hybridization? That is first emasculation, that is the removal of anther. Second, bagging in order to prevent contamination of the stigma with undesirable pollen grain, and dusting of the desired pollen grain on the stigma. This is how artificially this plant is cross-pollinated. So this is the reason why Mendel selected pea plant for his experiment. The third reason why he selected pea plant for the experiment is that it is having short lifespan. Third, short lifespan. That means it completes its lifespan in 3 to 4 weeks. It completes its lifespan in 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, seeds are produced in 3 to 4 weeks. That is why he selected this pea plant. Fourth reason is that produces more seeds. More seeds are produced. More seeds are produced by this plant. So these are the 4 reasons by which Mendel selected pea plant. So what are the reasons? First, it is having 7 contrasting characters. Second, it is a self-pollinating plant. and it can be cross-pollinated artificially. Third reason, it is having short lifespan, that is 3 to 4 weeks, it completes its lifespan. Fourth point is it produces more seeds. Okay, these are the 4 reasons why Mendel selected pea plant for his experiment. Now, before entering into its experiment, let us study some of the important terms comes under this chapter. The first term, important term that you have to remember. First is factor. The term factor was proposed by Mendel. According to Mendel, this factor is responsible for carrying gene, that is character, from parents to the progeny. Later it was discovered that factor is nothing but gene. Factor is nothing but gene. So, gene was discovered, coined by Johansen in the year 1909. Okay. Now, this earlier Mendel called this gene as factor. Okay. So, this gene which is responsible for carrying the character. So, we can write it as a unit of inheritance. It is a unit of inheritance. This gene is responsible for carrying the characters from parents to the progeny. Second is alleles. Different forms of same gene. Different forms of same gene. Suppose, what is gene? Gene is responsible for carrying a character. Suppose we are going to take the character as color of flower. So what is the color of flower? Purple and white. So purple is one character, the contrasting character is white. Okay, so capital P, this is the gene which carries purple color, and capital P is one form and small p is another form. So the color of the flower is a gene which is having 2 different forms. It is either purple form or white form. Okay, so that is known as, these forms are known as the alleles. Okay, alleles of a gene. Next is, so we can say different forms of a gene is known as alleles. Third is homozygous. Homozygous. Similar alleles for a specific character, specific trait, similar alleles for a specific trait. Suppose we are taking the character as flower color. So the alleles, similar alleles, capital P is the allele of capital P and capital P is the allele of capital P. So both the alleles are of this gene, this trait is similar. The trait is carried by the gene and both the alleles are similar. So again we can write for purple, so this is for purple and here this is for white. Small letter P we are writing for white. Here you can see the alleles are similar. Both are small letter P. So it is showing the white color. Both the alleles are similar. Here both the alleles are similar. So that is known as homozygous. So what is heterozygous? Fourth one, heterozygous. In heterozygous, that is dissimilar alleles for a specific trait. Dissimilar alleles for a specific trait. What do you mean by dissimilar? Suppose capital P and small p for a purple color flower. One allele is capital P, but the other allele is small p. Here the alleles are dissimilar. So when a gene is carrying dissimilar types of allele, we call it as heterozygous. When a gene is carrying similar types of allele, we call it as homozygous. Is it clear? Now next is dominant. Fifth term is dominant trait. Children, you have to remember all these terms. These terms are very important. Dominant means the character or the trait, we can call either character or trait, which is expressed both in homozygous as well as in heterozygous condition is known as dominant trait. The trait which is expressed both in homozygous and heterozygous trait. Suppose we are taking a character as again color of the flower, that is purple. Purple, that is capital P, capital P. So this capital P is a homozygous condition, so that gives purple color. And capital P, small p also gives the same color, purple. But here you see the alleles, they are heterozygous. In heterozygous condition, that is the different types of alleles are present. In this condition also this character is expressed. So that is why it is said to be the dominant trait. So what is dominant? The character which can expressed both in homozygous as well as basically in the heterozygous condition. Okay, so that is known as dominant trait. So another term is that is recessive trait. Next is recessive. Here the trait is expressed only in homozygous condition. Homozygous condition, but it is unable to express, in heterozygous condition. That means the recessive character of purple is white. So white can express only in the homozygous condition. Suppose if it is in a heterozygous condition, capital P and small p is there, so it will give a purple color. So this recessive character will not be expressed. The recessive character can only express under the homozygous condition. It can express only in the homozygous condition. Always the recessive character is represented in small p and dominant characters are expressed in capital P. Next term is phenotype. Phenotype is the external or physical appearance. Phenotype type, that is the physical appearance. Physical appearance. So what is physical appearance? Suppose we are seeing a tall plant. The tall plant, physically it appears tall. Okay, that is known as the phenotype. So what is genotype? Genotype is the genetic makeup. Genetic makeup. So what is genetic makeup? Suppose we are taking a tall plant, we are seeing a tall plant. The genetic makeup of this tall plant is either capital T, or it may be capital T, small t. But phenotypically it appears tall, but genotypically it is having homozygous. It may be a homozygous, or it may be in a heterozygous condition. So this is known as the genotype, and this is known as the phenotype. Physical appearance is known as the phenotype, and genetic appearance is known as the genotype. Next we will study monohybrid cross. So what is monohybrid cross? Only one character is monohybrid cross. One character is taken at a time for a cross. One character is taken at a time for a cross. Suppose we are taking tall and dwarf. This is the character of height of a plant. That is, height of the plant is tall and dwarf. When we cross this tall and dwarf, that means in a cross we are taking only one character. That cross is known as monohybrid cross. So what is dihybrid cross? Dihybrid cross means if we take two characters at a time. Suppose we are taking tall, along with that color of the flower, height of the plant and color of the flower. If we take togetherly, that cross is known as dihybrid cross. So tall and purple is crossed with dwarf and white. Okay, here you will see capital T, small t, but here you can see capital T, capital P, small t, small p, small p. So this is known as dihybrid cross. The next term is filial. Filial means generation. Filial that is the generation formed by the cross, formed from a controlled cross. Can say controlled cross is known as filial. Suppose we are crossing capital T and small t. These are the parents. We consider it as parent. Okay, and here we'll write it as a gamete. Okay, so it forms gamete like this. When it is crossed, this is the first filial generation. This is the first generation. After which we'll write F2, F3 like that. This is the filial generation. Okay, next is Punnett square. What is Punnett square? Punnett square. It is a graphical representation to calculate the probability of all possible genotype of the offspring. So suppose we are taking a tall plant. When it is crossed with dwarf plant, it is the parents. Okay, gamete, we are taking it as, suppose we are taking two gametes like that, and it is represented in a graphical form. It is represented in a graphical form. So here we will write the gametes. Okay, here we will write the gametes. Okay, now it is crossed capital T, small t. This is known as the Punnett square. This is proposed by Reginald C. Punnett. Reginald C. Punnett. So this is the possible genotype of the offspring. Here the gametes are written. Suppose it is the male gamete is written over here and the female gametes are written over here. Okay, so now we have studied the various terms of important terms of this chapter. Okay, in the next class we will study how the Mendel carried out his experiment, what was his conclusion. Okay, thank you.